Woman was God's second mistake. A short line from Nietzsche, but one that explodes like fire in the soul. It doesn't whisper, it cuts, it shocks. To some it feels like truth, to others pure insult. But one thing is certain, Nietzsche never spoke to please. He spoke to expose. He forced his readers to look at life without comfort, without masks. He tore down illusions. And behind that tearing down, he left us with warnings. Warnings about life, warnings about power, warnings about women. Today we open that warning and we enter the dangerous ground of Nietzsche's thoughts on female manipulation. This won't be soft, it won't be kind. But if you are brave enough to face it, you may walk away with eyes sharper than before. Nietzsche did not see love as the modern world teaches us. He did not see it as romance, sweetness, or poetry. He saw it as battle, a hidden game of power between man and woman. For Nietzsche, every passion hides a secret law. Desire is not freedom, desire is slavery, and in love, man is often the slave. Woman does not rule with strength, weapons, or open force. She rules with softness, with charm, with need. She rules through what Nietzsche calls her instinct for cunning. To him, this instinct is not evil in itself, it is nature. But it is dangerous for men who are blind to it. Because when a man confuses instinct for love, when he confuses strategy for truth, he gives away his soul while thinking he is giving away his heart. Nietzsche once said, "In revenge and in love, woman is more barbaric than man." What did he mean? He meant that when a woman loves or when she hates, she does not play with half her heart. She does not step carefully. She acts with her full being, and her weapons are not the same as man's. A man's cruelty is often open, violent, and loud. But a woman's cruelty, Nietzsche believed, is silent, soft, and precise. She does not strike the body. She strikes the spirit. She twists the heart. She bends the will. And this is where manipulation hides. Not in loud shouts, but in smiles. Not in chains, but in warmth. A woman, Nietzsche said, can bind a man more completely with tenderness than another man could with iron. To Nietzsche, woman is not weak. She is strong, but her strength is hidden in appearances. She knows her influence does not come from direct force. It comes from shaping how man sees her. Through beauty, through innocence, through need. Nietzsche writes that woman's power rests in her ability to appear dependent, while in fact guiding the direction of man's choices. She can shape his decisions not with commands, but with suggestion, with silence, with tears. This is not random. It is nature's design. For Nietzsche, the female instinct is survival and control of the future through reproduction. Her deepest cunning comes from securing the strongest man, then shaping him to serve that mission. So while the man thinks he is leading, Nietzsche says he may already be following. Why did Nietzsche warn us so strongly? Because he saw how easily a man, even a strong man, can lose himself in the spell of a woman's will. A man with purpose, with strength, with fire for greatness, can be redirected. He can be softened. He can be broken not by force but by his own heart. A woman who knows her power can feed his pride, fuel his desire, and slowly guide him away from his path. She does not need to fight him. She only needs to make him fight himself. This is the danger. Not that woman is evil, but that man, blind to her instincts, mistakes manipulation for love. He becomes willing to surrender his mission, his focus, his very self. And Nietzsche, the eternal destroyer of illusions, called this out with fire. Nietzsche saw woman as strategist. She does not fight head-on because nature never gave her that path. She wins by influence, not by confrontation. She watches, she learns, and then she guides. Her strategy is patience. She does not rush to crush a man's defenses. She slowly weaves around them. Each smile, each word, each look becomes a tool. Where man uses force, woman uses subtlety. And in this subtlety hides her greatest weapon, man's blindness. A man who does not understand her strategy believes she is harmless. He mistakes softness for weakness. Nietzsche warned that this is the first mistake. Because what looks like weakness often hides the sharpest control. Nietzsche wrote often of masks. He believed that life itself is built on masks, and truth is always hidden. Woman, he said, understands this better than man. She knows that masks rule relationships. One of her most powerful masks is devotion. She presents herself as devoted, loyal, endlessly giving. But Nietzsche reminds us, this devotion is not empty. It serves a purpose. Through this mask, she builds dependence. She makes the man believe he is her world, when in fact she is slowly making him orbit her world. He begins to adjust his choices, his actions, and even his values to keep her devotion alive. This is not weakness on her part. It is genius. Nietzsche called it instinct. She does not calculate it in words. She breathes it as naturally as a man breathes air. Modern minds speak of love as freedom. Nietzsche did not. He spoke of love as bondage. And in the bond between man and woman, he saw the danger of slavery hiding beneath passion. When a man believes he has conquered a woman's heart, he often lowers his guard. He gives trust, he gives time, he gives focus. Slowly, without realizing, he gives power. Nietzsche believed this power is rarely equal. A woman who understands her instincts knows how to use love as a trap. She does not need to demand, she simply expects. She does not need to command, she only needs to withhold. This trap is invisible, but it is iron. And Nietzsche's warning was clear. The man who does not master himself becomes mastered by her. Nietzsche saw in woman the force of nature itself. For him, the female instinct is always tied to reproduction, to creation, to the securing of the next generation. From this comes a fierce will, the will to control the future through man. She will test him, she will shape him, she will bend him to prove his strength or expose his weakness. Nietzsche believed this instinct explains much of female manipulation. It is not random cruelty. It is not accidental behavior. It is survival. For a woman, to control man is to secure her place in life and to guarantee the strength of her offspring. But for man, this instinct creates the battlefield. If he is blind, he becomes tool. If he is aware, he remains free. Here lies Nietzsche's sharpest warning. Woman's manipulation does not always break the strong man. It seeks out the weak man. It feeds on his uncertainty. It thrives on his desire to be led without knowing he is led. A weak man becomes clay. She shapes him. She turns him into servant, into comfort, into protector with no fire of his own. He believes he is winning her, but in truth she has already conquered him. Nietzsche despised this weakness. He saw it as a betrayal of man's highest calling. For man's highest calling is not to serve blindly, but to create, to rise, to carve his own path through life. And so he warns us. Beware the softness that hides chains. Beware the devotion that reshapes your destiny. Beware the love that does not free but consumes. Nietzsche laughed at the modern claim of equality between man and woman. To him, equality was illusion. Nature does not deal in equality, it deals in difference. Man seeks power through strength, conquest, and creation. Woman seeks power through influence, manipulation, and reproduction. Their paths are not the same, and pretending they are equal blinds both. This blindness is dangerous. When man treats woman as the same as himself, he fails to see her hidden weapons. He forgets that she does not compete by open struggle. She competes by reshaping the battlefield itself. Nietzsche warned that this blindness makes man weak. Nietzsche described man and woman as locked in a constant dance of power. Not a partnership of equals, but a struggle of wills. The man believes he leads, yet often he follows. The woman believes she follows, yet often she leads. Each step in this dance hides a reversal. Each word, each gesture, each silence plays a role. For Nietzsche, this dance is not evil, it is natural. But he demanded awareness. A man who walks blind into this dance is already defeated. Only the man who sees the game for what it is can hold his own. Nietzsche observed that woman's deepest weapon is not anger, but suffering. She turns her pain into influence. Her silence, her sadness, her tears become sharper than any blade. Man cannot resist the image of female suffering. His instincts push him to protect, to comfort, to save. But Nietzsche warned that this instinct can be exploited. What looks like weakness becomes control. The moment a man makes decisions only to end her suffering, he is no longer free. She has turned his strength into her tool, and she does it without force, without violence, without demand. Nietzsche despised the false morality of chivalry. He saw it as a cage built for men by society. Men are told to protect, to serve, to worship women as pure beings. But Nietzsche cut through the mask. He said that this worship blinds men to reality. Woman is not angel, she is strategist, she is instinct. To treat her as goddess is to kneel before illusion. This illusion weakens man. It makes him servant, not master of his own life. Nietzsche demanded that men break free from this false chivalry and see woman as she truly is. Powerful, cunning, and dangerous when underestimated. Nietzsche did not teach hatred of women. He taught strength in men. His warning was not to avoid women but to face them with eyes open. A strong man does not reject female instinct. He understands it, he respects it, but he does not surrender to it. He meets her cunning with clarity. He meets her softness with discipline. He meets her influence with his own unshakable will. In this way, the dance of power becomes balanced. The man does not collapse under manipulation. He does not lose his path. He continues his mission, his creation, his fire, without bending to chains hidden as love. Nietzsche's life mission was to destroy illusions. He tore apart false gods, false morals, and false comforts. In his eyes, woman was another illusion man refused to face. Men wanted to believe in purity, in softness without strategy, in love without power. Nietzsche called this blindness. He said man must strip away these fantasies and look at woman as she truly is, a creature of instinct, cunning, and survival. Only then can man rise above her manipulation. Only then does he stop being a victim of nature and become a master of himself. For Nietzsche, the greatest tragedy was not that woman manipulates, it was that man allows it. A man who surrenders his strength, his purpose, and his will betrays himself. This betrayal is worse than defeat by another man, because in this case, the man willingly lays down his weapon. He chooses comfort over struggle. He chooses pleasure over greatness. He chooses illusion over truth. Nietzsche's warning is sharp. A man who betrays himself or a woman loses more than freedom. He loses his destiny. So what must man do? Nietzsche's answer is clear. Become aware. Awareness is armor. Awareness is shield. A man who sees the strategies of woman no longer falls victim to them. He recognizes the mask of devotion, the weapon of suffering, the illusion of equality. He does not reject them, he simply refuses to be ruled by them. He keeps his mission first, he keeps his will sharp, he keeps his path clear. And when he meets woman, he meets her as equal force, cunning against clarity, instinct against will, softness against strength. Nietzsche was not against love. He was against slavery in love. He demanded that love should never destroy a man's path, but sharpen it. For this to happen, man must not enter love as servant, he must enter as master of himself. Only then can love become exchange, not submission. Only then can passion become fire that builds, not a chain that drags down. The man who remembers this truth walks freely. He does not run from woman. He does not kneel to woman. He walks beside her, strong, unbroken, and unchained. Nietzsche's words cut deep. Woman was God's second mistake. But behind this fire hides his real message. Beware the illusions that blind you. Woman is not mistake. The mistake is man's blindness to a power. The mistake is his surrender. The mistake is his slavery to what he refuses to see. So remember Nietzsche's warning. Do not hate woman. Do not worship her. See her, understand her, and above all, do not betray yourself for her. This is the hidden danger of female manipulation. This is the truth Nietzsche forced us to face. And only the man who faces it with open eyes will rise above it. Welcome to the Inner Citadel, and subscribe if you're new here, and thank you to all returning subscribers. This is the Brotherhood. See you in the next video.